Welcome to our Celebrity Spotlight, where we explore the thinkers and makers shaping culture from the ground up. Today, we sat down with Abduljaleel Sodangi, an architect, artist, and the visionary behind Table of Thought and Card of Thought, where everyday encounters transforms into profound conversations that connect us all. It was truly an insightful session. Here is how it went down. Welcome back to the show. You're still watching Hype Reel, and this is our Celebrity Spotlight segment where we get to sit down one-on-one with your favorite influencers and trailblazers. And today we have someone very special. He's a lot of things. He's a super talented artist, also an architect. A lot of you may name as Mr. Abdul Jalil or AJ for short. And I'll let him introduce himself properly. Okay, yeah.
Well, hello. My name is Abduljaleel Sodangi. I'm an architect and also an artist and a product designer as well.
Okay, so we see what we have here. Right, let's dive straight into it. What is the Table of Thoughts and what does it mean to you?
Okay. So the Table of Thoughts is started as a table in my office between 2020, 2022, where conversations would happen with my friends, with my colleagues, with my business partners. We would sometimes, work there. We would also have parties there sometimes, have conversations. But then when the conversations started going beyond surface level of how are you today, what's the weather today, we started going more existential. I started taking notes of those thoughts down, and, for like 18 months gathering those thoughts, then I realized that, some of these things I would want people to know. Some of them are personal to me, but I would like to have all of them put back onto where most of those conversations happen, and that's the table itself, right? So that's the origin of the table. So having done that and then looking at it and then mirroring it back to myself, it was like my own, what do you call it, literal mirror, right? So I would explore it with my friends, would have conversations over it. So usually how it, metamorphosed from that was we were now able to take that conversation that we're having with my friends in the office into different spaces as well and have similar conversations, right? So the first events that happened, which was Urban November in 2024, last year, that's where we first showcased this to people, right? And then we also took a blank canvas as well. And then we developed cards of thought, which are these cards right here. So there are 50 questions of like personal contemplation, right? For yourself. You have some of them that says, oh, when I look at my life from afar, what patterns and paths emerge, right? If I stood at the edge of everything I've known, would I leap forward or step back? So we experimented with those questions and we had people answer those questions back onto a blank canvas similar to this, right? And that's basically what gave birth to that one over there, right? So those were conversations of me and other people. And, the whole point of it is when you have these conversations where people question themselves and then other people see that, then it's also a mirror for them to look back into their life and ask themselves, okay, what is the meaning of this world? We have 50 years to live. What do you want to leave behind? What do you want to work for with that time? What do you want to build? What do you want to start doing now that if you die in 5 years by mistake, or if you die in 10 years, or if you die at, 50 years from now, like, what is it that that you are happy you started and you want to keep doing?
I'm glad that you mentioned this part because I was going to chip in. Obviously, it's from what you said so far, is a non-judgmental. I want to believe it's a non-judgmental space, right?
Yeah.
So how has this impacted the way conversations for open-ended conversation between yourself and your friends and just generally everybody that have gotten to experience the Table of Thoughts? How has it been impactful having those vulnerable conversations?
So what happens is when these conversations happen, you find a lot of people experience a certain level of healing right? Similar to what you would get when you mirror yourself back to a therapist, or you mirror yourself back to a close friend, or, a close partner, where, you unburden yourself of something that has been deep inside you, or you could akin it to a confession, for example, right? So that's usually what happens a lot. But then also, because you have other people doing that the same, and the conversation is tailored in a particular way, it allows for them to also be agents of, this idea where people can come and have conversations that would not necessarily just be, for laughs and fun. It's okay to laugh, it's okay to have conversations, it's okay to banter. All of it is okay, right, in general. But this one focuses more on, self-introspection, right? Because one of the things that, I've come across during my years of studying, my years of working and experiencing and communicating with different people, one of the issues that we have here is, apart from an infrastructure deficit that we have, which is over $3 trillion, we also have that as well for, people who are seeking for creative ways to express themselves, but they're not able to. So even their role in society sometimes is always shaking. It's not constant. And, they're not fixed in their direction of things. So it doesn't allow them to be focused and be, very high value members of society. And that's what we need. If we have $3 trillion of infrastructure gap, we need to work on people's minds a lot, because, we can build the infrastructure and people may not use it. And so what we're trying to target is using this as a medium to, bridge that gap significantly, so that in 2050 or so, most of the deficit that we have, people are able to compensate for that deficit.
Thank you so much for your time. So, do you mind giving us a tour
Yeah,
of the table and then the brand?
there you can see what we have here. There's one that says, "Fate is when all your eyes see is darkness, in your hand sees light." This was actually a tattoo on my friend, but I added this conviction that when they bring that light to light and light in the darkness.
Oh.
All right, so what's this? So this is the latest experience. This came from the latest experience of Routine in the France, which was the Delfino Spatial Runway. So basically allow people to come and express their thoughts as well, right? We can clearly tell that, probably almost 150 people worked on this. So this is a curative piece by almost 150 people, right? So, and also it allowed for really nice photos when people were writing on it, because of the light casting on their faces. So it was if the photos were really interesting, of posting them, on my Instagram, and I posted them as well, but I'll definitely leave there for people to see. So yes, this really looked nice as well, even when it was off and when it was on, because it's just with black and gold kind, yeah. And it's really nice to see how it has come far. It started from here, to something with lighting, and then something. This looks really retro. Even every day I look at it, I feel really amazed by it. Right? Yeah, impressed with it. Yeah, I'm impressed with it as well. And it'd be nice to see more of this.
How did the cards come about?
So the cards, we developed them, I think right before the first event, because we were looking at how we can have people have a very similar experience within a short period of time as to curating something like this, right? So a lot of them, the questions border around sustenance, questioning your existence, how you engage with people, your mind and your spirit as well. Questions that also help you target, reconstructing yourself as an individual.